they classified me as antisocial, super sane. And that just means I knew that what I was doing was wrong. I absolutely knew. There was no doubt.
Welcome to the Focal Flip Podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, and neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Focal Flip Podcast. Today, I have the man that is famously known as Beak. Mm-hmm. I call him Philly Jerry. This is my man, Jerry. I have known Jerry for, I guess, about a year.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year now. We have become great friends. We sharpen iron with one another when it comes to tackling life problems and recovery. And what I can tell you right now of him is I have watched what this man has done in just the year that I've known him. And he's extremely fascinating, encouraging, very, very intelligent, has a very colored history and story, just such a unique life story, kind of like we have on here, but his is extremely unique. His perspective is awesome as well. So Beak, Philly Jerry, I'm just going to call him Jerry because that's what me and him, just Jerry and Mike. Jerry, thank you for being here, brother.
Yeah, no problem. I love it. We've been setting this up for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I make it kind of simple. I'm a military child. I was born in Philadelphia Naval Hospital in 1964.
Okay. Get right into it, baby. Let's go.
So moved around. My little brother was born 19 months later in Jacksonville, Florida. So then we ended up in, by the time I was 2, we ended up in Providence, Rhode Island, then back in Philadelphia. And I went to kindergarten and first grade there. My father came home from the war, and something was wrong. You know, he did win a Bronze Star and a Silver Star in the CMH. Mm-hmm. I didn't know about the CMH till I was in my 30s. Okay. But I did know about the Bronze Star and everything. So, as we were growing up, he had to leave, and my mom stabbed him when I was like 4 years old because he slapped me across the room. And I actually remember this, and my mom was like, "How can you remember that?" And then her sister tells her, "Well, we never said nothing, Daddy." So I do remember it. Mm-hmm. Her stabbing him. I don't remember why she stabbed him.
Wow.
And I was 4. I was almost 5. And she stabbed him in the leg. But it goes on. My mom meets my stepfather, which is a great man. You know, he did 22 years in the military. He was in the Navy. He was a radio man. When he got out, so just with me, so I'm growing up in Norfolk, Virginia, we moved to. I had a dog. His name Charlie. He was a little dash hound.
Okay. How old?
I was 11.
Okay.
So he was only about a year old. He was actually my dog, too.
Yeah.
So in Virginia, we always had birds, too, parakeets. So there's the dog we had, but let the bird ride his back. This dog gets into being famous. The newspaper, the Sun newspaper, which was part of Newport News in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Well, about a year later, we moved to Norfolk from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Princess Anne area, which was right next to Newport News. Mm-hmm. So we moved there, and on New Year's that year, I let the dog out. It was just, we were watching things on TV, and, he would go out and come back. He'd come up to anybody. He was a great dog. Mm-hmm. Well, some idiot kid kills it. Okay. Well, we don't find out who kills the dog.
It was like a celebrity dog?
So, yeah, and this dog ended up making all the newspapers in the state of Virginia at the time. We didn't find out what happened until, like, the spring. Okay. And ice cream truck coming around, and I used to do lawns and stuff, so I always had money. So I'm standing with a couple girls and another guy, and then there's some other kids down here, and then this one other kid comes up that nobody really hung out with. Yeah. And he's bragging about killing this dog on New Year's.
Okay, so you're 11 years old. There's a guy that's bragging about killing the dog.
I ended up following him home and seeing where he lived, and then I went back to my house, got a stick, and my brother went with me, beating on the dude, and father came out, and a military man too. And what the hell are you doing? I
So
said,
y'all went and tuned him up?
yeah. So we told him, I said, he killed my dog, and it dawned on this guy who I was, because I looked like my mother, and everybody knew Patty Sue. So he's like, the famous dog? Well, he's kicking his fucking son. And the mother comes out, what are you doing? He just looks at her. He stopped kicking his son. And he says, he killed their dog. Well, at that point, that man already knew there was other animals killed, other people's pets. Well, this guy killed mine. So that sent me
Over the edge?
really just...
or started you down a better,
it
worse
just,
path?
yeah, I quit Boy Scouts, all that. I just thought the
wow,
world...
so you were in Boy Scouts too?
Yeah, I ended up being, I was right about to be an Eagle Scout, and I just quit it all, you know, because I was like, fuck this world. And I really remember thinking it like that, too, at 11 years old, you know.
It just really traumatically crushed
Oh, yeah, I
you,
mean,
right?
this dog was so kind. It was unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
the bird would actually fly into the kitchen, get a piece of kibble, and bring it back to the dog. The dog never tried to hurt the bird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, someone to kill an animal like that, or any animal, anybody's pet.
Right.
Well, you know, I don't know that, you know, until later on. But as it goes on, I'm starting to get in trouble when actually I was a really good kid. I was the only one my parents even ever gave a key to because my brothers, they were just assholes. So I go back to Philadelphia for the fifth and sixth grade. Now, this is after that kid does this. We move out like 6 months later. We go live with my aunt in Philadelphia. And I remember, you know, we were there for 1976. And right before the 4th of July, me and my mom go up to Connecticut and to open the house up and wait for the movers to come and bring all the furniture. We go there, and it's 2 days before the 4th of July. So me and my mom go on to Navy base, and she sees some kids. She's like, yeah, go over there with them. You can go hang out with them. I had like $10 on me. So I go over there. What are you guys doing? Hey, man, I'm a new guy. I just moved in, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, we're trying to, they're helping people with groceries, you know, to get some little change or whatever, put them in their car. And they said, we're trying to get some money up to get beer. You know, I hadn't even turned 12 yet. And, well, I remember drinking that day. You know, I said, well, I got $10. I wasn't even 12.
So
I was like, well,
I
was 12. I just turned 12 like a month or so before. And so the thing was, first time I have a drink, man, I get sicker and shit. Cause,
really?
Yeah, because it was pink shell pale and elephant beer. And I got sicker than hell. And at that time, this is the naval base, and this is 1976, 77 in Groton, Connecticut. There's a lot of drugs there.
Oh, yeah.
So I start smoking weed and hash and all that. And I really don't do pills because I'm already on Ritalin. I've been on Ritalin since the age of 5. And when I turned 13, I was actually literally the dumbest kid in school. I couldn't do basic arithmetic because the drug would actually if we opened a chapter, the teacher say, open to chapter 5. Well, as soon as I'd open to chapter 5, I'd start counting all the A's in the chapter, then all the B's. I'd see how far in the alphabet I'd get before they were done reading. Now, I did the schoolwork. I understood what they were talking about, but I couldn't read what they were talking about. Math, I was lucky I could do add and subtract. It goes on that at 13, I tell the doctor, I said, man, I don't want this no more. I'm like the dumbest kid in school, you know. So my mom's like, oh, no, give me another prescription. And he's like, Miss Mangle, I can't do that. He's 13, and this was just a test. See, the government was the ones who tested on their own children.
We won't go into that.
So, but it is what it is. I mean, this is like 1969, whatever.
No, I
so,
got you. Keep going.
they still don't know anything about all that. So,
Keep going.
So what happens is I get off of it, and within 18 months, I'm already in almost through the middle to almost the end of algebra book in the 9th grade. By the time I get to the 10th, I'm in like equations and calculus. No problem. I can read better than my brothers. You know, I was comprehending more of a book than what normal people do. I remember about half of a book when I read it, if not a little bit more, where a lot of people, about a quarter of a book. Yeah. And so I'm going through all this. I graduated a year early, you know. Yeah. So I tried to stay in school, and my mom's like, no, you graduated, you don't have to go. And I said, but if I don't go, then I can't play freshman college ball as a red shirt. I said, they'll just sidelines me for a whole year. And then that really affects my playing ability. And because I was really good at baseball and shortstop. So I've loved it. I was 4 errors in like 7 years. And every time I got an error, it literally ball knocked me out.
That's pretty good.
So I was an all right hitter. I wasn't a great hitter. But as we're going along, I'm doing all this, like all kinds of drugs. Well, then my parents...
You doing drugs while you're playing baseball?
Yeah, we were all smoking weed. This is like 1978, 77, 78.
I was just curious.
So yeah, we were smoking weed.
I got to know.
And so we end up moving to Philadelphia around October of 78. We leave Groton, Connecticut and go back to Philadelphia. So I'm there for the 10th and 11th grade. And so as we get there, my mom says, you're going to go live with your father. And this is like January 3rd of 78. Oh, no, it's of 1980. And my dad can only deal with me for like 3 months. He sends me right back to my mother. But at least I got my driver's license.
Way to be such a head case, Jerry.
So I ended up getting my driver's license.
Problem child.
So, well, I'm starting to commit violent acts, you know, against people. So I ended up hitting a kid that sucker punched me in Philadelphia with an old bumper jack, car jack. And one just stuck a thing in and pumped it up and it jacked it up. And hit him in the leg with it. And kid got his leg stitched up real bad. I had to get it worked on or something. And so that's my real first encounter with the police. Now, I did have it.
Did you feel good when you were like, well, of course, if somebody's going to dish it out at you, and you dish them back some street justice.
Yeah. Well, I waited a few days. I came back. I went looking for him.
Was it always you retaliating, or was it anything
well,
you
no.
instigated?
In the 4th grade, I fought everybody in the 4th grade at Lynn Haven Elementary School, even the girls, and I lost every fight because I started every fight.
Okay,
so
now we're getting into
I don't get it. I don't get into another fight.
About.
Yeah. Well, so I don't get into another fight till I'm like the 7th grade, and beat the hell out of the kid.
Why were you fighting then, though?
I had a pair of white pants. Went to school with him. The kid pushed me in a mud puddle. These girls got me to come over to where they're at, and then he came up and pushed me in a mud puddle. So at the end of school that day, I ended up knocking him out. And a bunch of people finally stopped me because I was just on top of them, just boom, boom, boom. And I didn't care. I just didn't care. And I remember because I knew my mother was going to be pissed, you know. And yeah, I told you not to wear them pants to school. You know, it's one of them deals. So
I told you not to wear them pants to school. So you pushed in the mud puddle.
So I was like,
these guys are conspiring against you, Jerry. And they shove you down there.
I beat that kid, but then I realized that one time that I don't start a fight, I actually win. So I started to only fight when I was defending myself. Because I would try to get out of it. I was always afraid. I mean, I was
Were you ever
scared.
trying to instigate it so they would start
No, I just didn't do that.
Wow,
it was weird. It was like I was the kid that was picked on because I was on fucking drugs.
No, I get it.
So none of the kids, half the kids I played sports with didn't even like me. So that was okay. I didn't care. I played, and that's why I was there to play. You know, and we had fun. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm getting where you're going with it.
So as I go on, I realize that, you know, as long as I don't start the fight, I pretty much win. You know, you know, I got 2 brothers. One's got judo, and the other one knows taekwondo. So they're using me as their fucking punching dummy. They're just using me as their dummy. Sure. So they actually teach me. Don't even realize that's what they're doing. So I ended up using the judo against the other brother and the taekwondo against the other brother. I ended up beating them years later, and they left me alone after that. And
like beating them in like competition or beating them on the streets?
beating the hell out of them.
Dude, how much anger did you have?
I dislocated my older brother's shoulder.
Why?
My little brother, I broke his jaw and broke his eye socket.
Why?
During a party that I paid for, when I fell asleep, they
I
poured
get brothers being brothers.
Hey,
breaking eye sockets is a whole different ballgame, brother.
They sprayed that neat hair remover,
Yeah.
like in a strip. I had long hair, in
Yeah.
a strip to like right here.
Okay.
So when I woke up,
Oh,
and now I got a big strip missing out here.
buddy.
So I chased them down, messed them both up, and this is how crazy I get. So I ended up
Wow.
doing a little bit of military service, so I get out of that for dereliction of duty.
Okay.
Twice in like a month and a half. So
Have you been diagnosed with anything at this
yeah.
besides
But the kid that I hit with the jack, they gave me made me go take a Minnesota multiple intelligent personality test. It was called the MMIP or PI, personality and. So
they're doing like a personality test.
They classified me as antisocial super sane. And that just means I knew that what I was doing was wrong. I absolutely knew. There was no doubt.
Okay, there we go.
So there was no doubt that I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
So
you knew.
Yeah,
you
couldn't play
the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You got a thrill and a rush from that.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I didn't. I did feel bad.
Did you have remorse?
Yeah, this is the weirdest thing. I always did have remorse when I did that because I'm like, well, you knew it was fucking wrong, but I still did it anyway.
There's a fit of rage.
No, it was. I just didn't want to be categorized as that punk, the P word,
Yeah.
So, or the C word. I didn't want to be known as that. I wanted, because I was already afraid, and I just didn't want to be bothered.
Oh, here we go. We're
So
getting into this stuff. I was already afraid. Okay.
Man, my whole life. I remember one time my little brother's getting jumped, and I stood there and didn't help him. And I mean, this is how afraid.
That's just what it was.
Even though I would get into fights and stuff, I really was afraid to do it, and. Especially after the fourth grade, I got beat up by everybody, even girls.
Oh, so I bet you were. You're full of fear.
Yeah,
you were accumulating fear too.
And then just some of the things I had seen. I'd seen some really bad things, and
Sure.
so I go on, and I'm in my teens now, and I get out. I'm in the military. I'm not there that long, so I get out of that, and I'm not home 6 months, and a dude hits me with a tennis racket. And I break his jaw. And
why did the dude hit you with a tennis racket?
Because he was just he was one of my old heads. And
Got
just
it.
being a dick. Get himself
I'm
broke
sorry
a jaw.
I interrupt, but I'm a storyteller and I'm a listener and I paint pictures.
So he gets me charged with it because I broke his jaw. So I get a sentence of 1 to 10 years.
Fair.
And then a girl I had drew in class, and it looked dead on her in art class in the 10th grade, was the judge's, one of her clerks. And they brought me down after giving me 1 to 10 years, and she changed the sentence to 1.5 to 5. So I do like 24 months, I get out, and I'm on parole. And I'm not really being bothered. I do an 18-month inpatient or outpatient program, passed it, but one of my idiot friends dropped Valium in like soda. I'm not even drinking whiskey, nothing. And I piss hot for the Valium the next day. So they put me in another outpatient program, which I've become a counselor in. Then I have a family member ask me if I want to work for him. So I do, and I'm out there. I do like collections and stuff for him, so I ended up hurting a lot of people during that time. I ended up getting charged 13 times for aggravated assault.
Well, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, sounds like a duck. It's probably a duck.
And this is a guy that's afraid all the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what's so fascinating
I would
about it,
listen
right?
for people coming from behind, You know,
just listening,
but
watching,
I
feeling
didn't,
footsteps.
I didn't have paranoia, but I was always that, just being around, aware of my surroundings, all of it. I ended up shooting up cocaine. I don't even snort it the first time. I shot it, and the first time I shot it lasted like 4 years.
I don't even want to know what you're like on cocaine.
So, well, my brother, I would, in the end, when I did start getting paranoia, I would stand in the corner with a butcher knife.
Oh,
they're coming to get me, but I wouldn't harm anybody.
Yeah, I should.
You could come up and talk to me, but you're coming through the.
Am I safe right now, Jerry?
Oh yeah. So
I should have.
I
Where's
would be
my
like,
team?
they're coming out of the cabinets. You know, they're coming out from under the chair. They're coming out of like the drop ceiling. You know, it's just weird shit. But I never hurt anybody while I was on that, because friends would come up and they'd be like standing right here talking to me and stuff.
Okay. You never hurt anybody on coke?
I'd be trying to look around them, you know. But so
we're gonna do so many
so
episodes
I
together,
walk away.
bro.
I walk
It's gonna
away
be
from that, but
fantastic.
I'm drinking alcohol this whole time. I mean,
Alcoholically?
yeah, I was
or
drinking.
Socially?
No, there was no. I was drinking.
You are okay.
I was. I didn't drink to get drunk, but I got to get this massive buzz, and that's the way I always did it.
so you got to your level and stayed
Yeah,
out.
and I just stayed there. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't go into where I couldn't. I'd black out.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
I never had a blackout.
Come on.
No, never had a blackout. But I do know this, and this is, I've told you this story
Thank
before
goodness
too.
you never had a blackout. They're weird, buddy.
Am I 40?
You wake up feeling all kinds of guilt,
my
shame, and
44th
remorse.
birthday,
Yeah.
I blacked out the day before it. And when the next time I came, that I remember, it was on my 45th birthday. I literally don't remember a whole year. I mean, nothing. The only thing I do know is I didn't lose the woman I have that I've been with 27 years. I didn't go to jail, and I went to work every day. But I don't know what I did that whole year.
Interesting.
So I wake up, I drink some iced tea, some brisk iced tea I always kept in the refrigerator, and started drinking. Wasn't drinking whiskey, I just started off on some beers.
What time?
That was the last I remember.
What time was that morning?
Oh yeah, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it was raining.
Trying to
We
get to
weren't.
your level?
Well, yeah, it was raining. We weren't going to go lay stone or nothing. And all I remember is, I remember.
Yeah. What else am I?
I'm
gonna
thinking
do?
it's my 44th birthday. When I come to reality again, and it's literally my 45th. And my friends were pulling their phones out to show me that it's literally a year later. You know, these are flip ups. These
Dude,
aren't
I'm
even.
gonna be
These aren't
hopping
even.
on Jail Tracker and Arrest.org and be jumping all over this stuff and
Well,
piecing this story together.
you can, and because what's really
I
funny is
probably will.
I didn't know I was arrested 13 times during the 90s for aggravated assault.
Did you lose track of it?
Yeah, I just don't remember some of them.
Dude.
I mean, because my addiction, man, my addiction with drugs and
Yeah, I
alcohol
believe.
and doing what I was doing. I mean, somebody could say something cross to me, and I'd pick something up, beat the shit out of them. I didn't even care.
How big is your amends list?
It's weird, but like 18, I put 18 friends in the ground, and probably every one of them too, and my family. I got a lot of amends that I wrote letters for, and I mean, I got one of them compo books full of letters, and just things and thoughts that I've had over the last year.
Oh
And
gosh, I would love to see that. I
so-
know it's not my business,
so then-
but I've seen your last year, so
me and my
I
brother,
can only imagine what that's like.
in between, when I just walked away from shooting cocaine, eventually, I just walked away from it. Never did it again.
With coke, yeah, okay.
So, but I ended up like 3 years later, taking a hit of crack, and that lasted like 3.
Yeah.
So
See ya.
I walked away from that too. I was out in Oregon in the end of 96,
That's a rough one.
97,
Yeah.
and doing that black tar heroin. I did that every day, about a half a gram with my older brother. He got heavily
So
addicted.
this was just a constant thing for
Man,
you
it
to
was
get
my whole
to
life.
function?
My whole life was I went to work high.
Yeah,
I
okay.
I worked for a law firm. I won't mention the law firm's
Yeah,
name.
you don't have to mention anything.
I was in charge.
You don't even have to mention industries.
So
markets.
I worked for this law firm, big law firm.
Okay.
You know, and
Doing
my
what?
job was to keep 25 paralegals, just making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That was my job. I literally sat at the desk doing this.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I'd just
paralegals
get up
working
and
their butt off.
I'd walk around, and they always did. And they were
Yeah, they
always
did.
on
Paralegals
track.
work hard.
And I used to take them out for drinks, things like that. And they paid me well. So I've done I've delivered flowers. I've worked for a florist. I've worked as a cook for 7 years. I can do anything. From pouring your floor here to putting your roof
I know I'm
on.
going to interrupt you. We were driving. We were on our way here, and just the City of Independence sign.
Yeah.
Jerry actually laid a
Yeah,
brick for
me
it.
and Ashley Moore.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
hello, City of Independence. Now, this is the big sign when you see coming in the
Yeah,
City
that
of
real
Independence.
big
You get
one.
the smaller one, and then you got the real big one.
Yeah.
It's like Courthouse Crossing or something like that. over
Yeah,
there.
Courthouse Crossing.
Yeah.
And
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it took us like a month in the winter.
You've done it all.
Well, now
So are you a
now-
jack of all trades? Or?
Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know that whole saying for that. A jack of all trades, master of none, but better than one.
Ooh.
That is truly the whole
You
saying
just
of
gave
that.
us a little short and real.
All right, that's the true saying of that.
Okay, say it again. Do it again.
It's all right. Jack of all trades,
Yep,
master of none, but better than one,
Okay.
or more than one. But I think it's better than one.
Yeah,
Okay.
what a way to.
So I mean, a lot of people always
wholesomely
like,
bring
yeah,
that
yeah,
around.
you know, jack of all trades, but master of none. Yeah, but better than one. You know, so
Man, you are a positivity guru. Huh?
and well, now hell, I've went in. I've been on the street 6 times in my life too, and I've come up out of that each and every time.
Ooh, this might be. Is this going to be our segue to our next part?
Yeah. So,
Keep talking, then,
well,
Jerry.
what I'll do is I'll talk about some of those times. I'll tell you, it was the funniest and best part was when I was like 28 exactly. I was homeless then. I'd lost the place we'd all lived, rented in West Philadelphia. Well, in West Philadelphia is the University of Penn, where, Penn, not Penn State, but the University of Penn.
The Quakers?
It's the Ivy League school
Yep.
that Benjamin Franklin helped find and all that.
Yep.
Well, I was living in the baseball dugout,
It's a great school.
and they were doing, the Philadelphia Reddings was doing their
You were
tryouts.
living in the dugout?
I was living in the dugout, yeah. I had a big foam thing I folded up and stuck it into where they would keep bats and stuff like that.
Did they know you were in there?
Well, I didn't actually sleep in that. I just slept on the bench part of it. So they're doing tryouts, and the dude, when I told him my name, and I was writing it down, he said, Graham, shortstop, right? I'm like, whoa. Like, what are you talking about? He said there was a guy named Jerry Graham, and
You're getting into
he
your
was really
baseball
good.
war
He was
story?
he was really good, and but it just dropped off like the face of the earth. I said, because I ended up getting in trouble in military and then in prison. He goes, well, you're going to try for shortstop, right? I said, yeah. And I go and do that, man. I'm awesome. They're fucking banging all kinds of balls at me. I don't miss none. How old are you? 28. And he just hung his head. See, they don't take anybody they don't 28 and older into the minor leagues. If I'd have known about that 2 years earlier, I'd have had at least a year or two to play.
Come on.
Yeah, I could have probably played for at least a year or two for the Reddings anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, hit like, please comment, please subscribe. I'm learning how to do this better, but I need your help with that. We don't want any kind of financial stuff. We just want likes and comments and subscribe.
Subscribe.
And then
Hit that button.
Just see us. All right, see you.
Or as they
everything
say,
we're doing.
smash that button.
Smash that button. Okay, you ready to wrap this thing up?
If you like Focal Flips videos, my dad's videos, go to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and like and subscribe to be updated.
I love it.